Distributed leadership, key in times of uncertainty. Proposal for school principals. A presentation by José María Rojas Morales from the University of Seville for the second Congreso Internacional de Innovación y Tendencias Educativas, entorno virtual, 15 y 16 de julio de 2021. This presentation will start with a justification, followed by the objectives, activities, and participants. Finally, it will end with a short conclusion. Justification. The health crisis due to the global pandemic of COVID-19, World Health Organization 2020, has affected all areas of society. As a consequence of this problem, in Spain, the state of alarm was approved by the Spanish government. Royal Decree 463/2020 of March 14th, which declares the state of alarm for the management of the health crisis situation due to COVID-19. This has implied that the educational leadership has had to change the planning by modifying practically all those pedagogical tasks that it had planned. Diez et al. 2020. In this way, various studies show that effective leadership is based on having a leadership focused on learning, distributed by the organization, and that promotes the development of all people in the educational community. Bush and Glover, 2014, Silva del Arco and Flores, 2018, Bush, 2019, Tintoré, 2017. According to Mag Rourke, 2013, this educational leadership must be contextualized, committed, and critical of singular and inappropriate forms of schooling in order to achieve quality education for all, especially for students from vulnerable areas. Thus, there are quite a few works on the need for leadership to criticize current models for schooling and address a type of leadership focused on social justice through the construction and strengthening of a community based on democracy. According to Fraser and Shields, 2010, classrooms constitute a microcosm of society and show established norm, power, privilege, and the state unless educational leaders establish concrete policies to guarantee social justice. Objectives. Develop and promote dialogue through reflection and strengthening of communication channels. Observe the performance of a colleague to enrich one's own teaching practice. Promote shared responsibility among all members of the educational community. Create strategies and proposals which are beyond the curricular aspects. Evaluate programs that are developed in the center, their effectiveness as well as the methods used. Activities. Community mailbox. A mailbox will be created in which all community members can contribute their suggestions, ideas, perceptions, and aspects that they consider should be improved privately. The reading will take place in the school council in which all the representatives of the educational community are present. Peer observation of a lesson taught. Teachers will have the freedom to choose a teacher they would like to observe, whether for academic aspects, good classroom management, subject affinity, among others. Feedback will be done in a formal way, filling out an observation rubric and discussing it with the colleague personality. Educational projects competition at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the course, all teachers can voluntarily propose a project to connect with the community that they would like to develop throughout the year. It can focus on various topics according to the interests of each of the teachers who proposed the projects. A vote will be held and the project chosen will be the one carried out throughout that year, actively involving all members of the Centre. School commissions. The Centre will have different commissions made up of teachers related to a subject whose purpose is to create specific strategies in the face of situations or problems that arise in the institution. For example, anti-bullying commission, pedagogical commission, etc. Discussion groups. In groups of 6 to 8 people made up of different members of the educational community, they are prepared to propose ideas, comment, and suggest about any aspect that affects the operation of the Centre. Participants. Different agents of the educational community, teachers and external agents that are related to the subject of the project or its beneficiaries. Possible conclusions. In this study, effective leadership will be distributed leadership based on the horizontally of the organization. In the health pandemic, which we are experiencing, the role of school principals will be essential to manage the educational response effectively during times of crisis. School principals will be able to have the support of the educational community. They will be able to distribute tasks without leaving control and focus on teaching learning. And they will be able to experience a high level of satisfaction in relation to the tasks carried out in the stage post-confinement. In addition, they will be able to introduce innovation in their educational centers, such as gamification or better digitalization, and create a greater and better sense of community, emotional support, involvement by improving communication and the involvement of members of the educational community. In this way, these school principals can move towards even more effective educational leadership.